Oh, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Amazing Podcast. This is Michael Riley here with Amazing Tech. We're so excited that you are back with us. Thanks for listening. I'm joined here with...
JD from LFG Media Group. I'm glad you introduced me. I thought you were just going to glaze over that.
Well, let's be honest. I've been in the star of the show, right?
Yeah, well.
You're going to take this one over, though.
No. Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. I mean, we can.
I'm going to take the whole show over.
Let's
I'm going to need a new co-host.
Fair.
We're going to get rid of Mike.
First things first.
I'm sure everybody's
the
sick of hearing
star
this
is
dude
fired.
talk.
Yeah, it's like I'm tired of hearing that guy talk.
The star. I've been carrying the pod all these years. Get out of here. It's like episode 6. Shut up, dude.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, but seriously, welcome back. This is the top pod where we talk about building revenue. Everybody likes making money, right? So.
Most people.
Yeah. We're going to focus in. We've been talking a little bit prior to the show, focusing in on, we talked a little bit about partnerships, some generic things, but really diving into specifics, providing real value on things that we do with our own company, right?
We're going to give away some secrets.
Yeah.
We're going to give away on this one and the next one, and probably a couple more after that. We're going to give away the secrets of what we do, which really aren't that secret. Just a lot of hard work and a really good team. Yeah. And it's not easy to do it yourself, but we're going to give it away. We're going to tell you how we do it. And
not just a few episodes, probably every episode. We're going to,
we'll see.
We're going to look to bring.
If we stop getting phone calls because people start doing it themselves, we're going to stop giving it away.
Well, that's, that's fair.
I mean, we're here to help people. We're here to make, we're here to make money too.
Well, there's one side. There's one side of it too, because no matter what, we can talk to you about how we dive in and do the work, but getting the reporting and the analytics back to tell you how to adjust it is not easily done.
Proprietary.
It's proprietary.
Yeah, it's proprietary.
It's not saying it can't be accomplished, but there's the barrier of entry kind of big. So with that being said, let's today's episode.
What are we going to talk about?
Email.
Today we're going to do email.
Bro, does it work?
What?
Email?
Hell yeah. I'm a freaking sucker for email.
I know.
Like Volcom. I'll get something from Volcom or like Travis Matthews. Like, a new shirt out. I'm like, dude, gotta have it.
Yeah.
Purchase now.
Yeah, I think different channels work for different people.
Yeah,
and
don't try calling me.
Right.
I'm not answering the phone.
Right.
If I do, I'm messing with you.
I don't have enough time to mess with them.
When people call, I'm like, all right, man, you got 30 seconds, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Then they get to the end of it, I'm like, man, good pitch, click.
Yeah. Is JD available? May I ask who's calling?
This is his answering service.
Yeah, we don't, I confirm nothing. I don't know who you are or what you're doing. It's not dodging anybody. It's very much I know, who are you?
Yeah.
We'll
get to the calling part after. Let's talk about email. Let's talk about the most underrated, well, in my opinion, the most underrated marketing channel. I've overlooked it for years.
Right.
I've never ever, up until recently, I've never done anything with email.
Right.
I've always been a search engine marketing guy. When people type something into Google, that's usually where I want to be.
Right.
So this whole email thing is, it's been a hell of an adventure. And I think I know for B2B prospecting,
right,
it's where it's at. It's a good channel.
It's to me, it's just another tool in the toolbox, right? Mm-hmm. So if you are any level of business, and you have a marketing department at any way, shape, or form, email should definitely be a part of it because, to me, part of what email brings to you is not even what the content of the email says. It's that, hey, and just the brand, hey, another email from LFG, another email from Amazing Tech, right? And it's just
these guys are out there.
Subconsciously that says something to somebody, right?
Yeah, they're like, they're calling me, they're texting me, they're emailing me.
Yes.
They're somebody.
Right.
They're not just some schmuck in a dark room.
Now,
well, if we are,
well, or some bot,
Yeah. Well, we employ those as well.
Fair enough. But no,
we got a few on the payroll. They're very cheap.
But question on email. So I
think actually, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think we should explain because we understand what drip campaigns are. And what is the whole point? You're not sending one email, right?
Right.
What are you doing?
So
Like, what's the whole point of an email campaign? A successful
so
one.
to me, I mean, there's older ways to do it. I mean, drip campaigns isn't something new, right? So it's something that, and if it may be new to you, if you've done no email campaigning whatsoever, in marketing, there's some level of what's called a journey, where different people call it different things. But for the instance of this, I'll say, what is a customer's journey? So what, like, hey, we're going to do an email campaign, a drip campaign where it slowly releases emails based on a cadence. What does that look like? And at its simplest form, you could look at it from, hey, it's a series of 5 emails meant to, and 5's an arbitrary number. It doesn't have to be 5. Could be 10, could be 3, could be 2. Doesn't really matter. Point being, it's a planned email journey that your client is going to go through. So does that cover basically what you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. So you're really, what we're looking at is, for what we do, is 4 or 5 emails probably. Depending, at least that's been minimum 4, I would say, for what we're doing. Probably up to 6. You don't want to basically run it for 30 days, see what kind of results you get from it, mixed in with other channels. I mean, you can do just a straight email campaign, but really you should have someone calling too, or like we should be trying to hit people from other angles. But the thing with email is you've harped on this from the beginning, and it makes sense. You have to have an offer in there. You have to have the $100 million offer, as Ramosi says.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have some reason in there for these people, when they open their email, to continue reading it, number one, and number two, to do whatever your conversion action is. And that's generally what we're usually shooting for, is an appointment.
Right.
Like, hey, like we have, like for behavioral health, for instance, the one that we're running, it's like, we're building out a free landing page for treatment centers. And that's our offer. It's a $1,000 offer. It's a high converting, landing page. It's a pretty good offer.
Yeah, it's, in the offer, to me, I think we should do a whole episode on what the offer is, right? Because, an offer is going to be plugged into all your channels. And in this one, we're talking email, right? And the whole purpose of the email is just to it's not to sell. My job is, like, the email is not to, and I get a lot of these, man.
You actually, like, I remember you picked apart my subject lines on the behavioral health campaign.
Right.
And initially I was like, oh, I'm a marketing guy. Like, how dare you?
Right.
And then I thought about it. You're like, dude, you don't sell in the subject line.
Yeah.
And no truer words have been spoken. Like, that's a whole, just like, and I think that's another thing we should do, is like break down each piece of the email.
Okay.
Because I would have sent all those emails out with like, how's your census? Looking to get more admissions. Like that's how I would have sent it.
Right.
But you're like, dude, that's never, like, even if it does get out, like, it's crap.
Right.
You're selling in the subject line, and I think you should talk about the syntax stuff, or what is it called?
The spin tax.
Spintax.
Yeah.
That was super cool. I never would have known anything about that if it wasn't for you. You can't even find that online.
Right.
I tried putting in ChatGPT, give me 5 examples of the best spintax for open rates.
Right.
ChatGPT was stumped.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
So, and to be clear, guys, JD and I work together on an Amazing Revenue. One of the channels that we do is email, right? And it's one of the, I would say, 5 core methods in which we engage with prospects.
Yep.
And when I say prospects, that's, hey, who we're going to market to. Now, I deal more with the technical side, and so JD's our content guy. So I'm an IT guy. He's a marketer, and like crafting the message is ultimately the most important thing. My job is to get
You're
people.
a marketer too, though.
I'm getting there,
Yeah,
right?
no, you're
but
there.
but
you're an undercover marketing nerd, and you just don't even know it yet.
I know enough to bash stuff.
Yeah, you're really good at picking shit apart. That's for sure.
Be like, I don't have an opinion, but that sucks.
Yeah, I hear that all the time.
Let's not do that. But no, in reality, though, it's starting from since we're talking about the content, let's talk about, we talked briefly about the journey, right? And we'll go back to the journey, but since we're talking about the subject, what makes a good subject, right? In my experience, and what I've gathered is the subject should be good enough for them to open the email. That's all it needs to be. Because if they open the email, then you can have a little bit of time to place your message, right? And we'll get it more into the
Capture their
body.
attention.
Yeah, but it's really supposed to be to click through. And I'll tell you the one that I get the most that maybe worked in 2015, it does not work today, is
that?
quick question.
Oh, interesting.
How many quick questions do you see?
A lot of them,
I mean,
actually.
you know, and it's every single person that does quick question. And it's because it worked. It was a great tool back in the day, but it's so overplayed now that, like, I would advise anybody who's putting together a campaign, you know, avoid that like the plague. And if you're putting together a campaign, right, real quick, there's a bunch of places out there you can go and do so, right? You can do like Constant Contact or your CRM or something like that. And we'll get back to the technical as to where you launch your campaign, but you can do it at a number of different providers.
Yeah, let's talk about like the basic nuts right now. Like first, like you could get a pad and paper, or you could pull up Microsoft Word. You're going to craft your marketing campaign.
Right.
First thing you want to do is your subject line. I think like what I've noticed since we've been doing email marketing, and same with like with cold calling, like with email marketing, I'm checking subject lines now.
Right.
Like I'm seeing like what's capturing my attention.
Yeah.
You know,
What gets you to open it?
One of the things that was getting me to open it was like sentence, like all lowercase
Right.
subject lines. I was like, look at this moron.
Right.
I got to see who this is. And I like open it up and I'm like, okay, there's actually pretty good marketing messages in there.
Right. Right.
So, the spin tax thing, like
Right.
what? So I remember you telling me there was like the guy you were using before that you were working with. He said like one of the biggest open ones, or one of the best open rates came from where you used their first name twice.
Yeah.
something
Well,
in
no,
subject line?
and it's usually on the reply. So usually how we craft our subject, or how I traditionally done it before we start working together, was first name. And this is just simply like, hey, I'm loading up a batch of, and when I say batch, you have 100 people you're wanting to send an email to. You basically load it in that has a variable that says, hey, whenever you send to this person, use the person's first name that I uploaded, right?
Upload company names. There's all the different things you can put in there.
Yeah, but in
Whatever's in your data.
yeah, and ours that we use is first name, comma, and then we use what is called spin tax, right? And what spin tax is it's a series, it's a group of,
It's code.
yeah, it's code. It's what developers would call an array, right? Which is just a group of similar messages, right? So I know I just said don't use quick question, but I'm going to use it since it's right online, right? So it would be like, if it would be first name, in your case it would be JD, quick question. And then if it's sent to our producer over there, it'd say Christian, comma, inquiry.
Yeah.
So it's the same, and this is all in the same thing.
You're putting variables in there.
Right,
In
and it would,
parentheses, and then so every time an email gets sent out, it's swapping. It's basically separating them, or it's basically sending them out evenly,
yes,
so that there's different subject lines, which helps with deliverability,
right,
right? So that you don't get flagged for spam for sending the same message over and over again.
exactly,
And you're also on, the flip side of that is you're able to really get an ABC even test in there to
Right.
know what is opening and what kind of response rate you're getting.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so ideally you want to be,
Pretty sophisticated.
yeah, it's very, as far as like, because you got to stay ahead of the game, in regards to, because if you're getting caught up in spam, you're not passing the bottom line, because first and foremost, you're not even getting to the freaking plate, right? And so the most important thing
Subject line.
is subject line for the open rate, right? And then once the open rate happens, and then our second subject, you were talking, so we talked about a journey. Our first email campaign is usually first name and then spin tax, right? Our second subject is usually the one that I thought, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like what type of dumb what idiot's going to like open this? And they're like, and
that's
the
probably the one that I was-
consultant that we had at the time where we started learning or refining this, is it's first name, comma, or my first name, comma, other person's first name. So it's literally two first names, the two people talking to each other, and a question mark. And it's like the most ridiculous, like, why would I ever open it? It's the highest open rate that we have,
That's wild.
right? Because
That's the cool thing about marketing is you never really know like what's going to work. And it's sometimes it's just, standing out.
right.
I mean, well, I think the number one thing with email marketing is making sure you don't end up in spam.
Right.
And we're gonna talk about that in a second. I think it'd be good for you to talk about how to warm up an email account so you don't end up in spam.
Yeah, and that's the technical part. Let's let's go back, finish into the content, and then I think we go back into the technical part as to how to not do it. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, any marketing is better than no marketing, but there's a lot of wasted effort that goes into email campaigns that is just. I mean, you can send out 1 million of them. If only 10 of them get delivered, then what's the point? And this isn't to blow people away and like knock them over and just annoy the crap out of people. This is, hey,
branding thing too. It's branding.
It's branding. You have a great product. It's that the people that you're emailing could use your product, right? And so
if you have good data.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that.
We're trying not to confuse everybody, but there's a lot to it. So we're gonna,
No, I think the biggest thing. We'll do another episode on like what your ideal client profile is, your ICP. So blah blah blah. I can't talk, but your ICP. So it's like your ideal customer profile, right? Is who you're marketing to. So this isn't to blast the crap out of people that you don't want. We're not sending them 1,500 emails.
Yeah, you're not going to try to sell Salesforce to a snow cone stand in the mall.
Right. That's not relevant.
You could try.
I mean, A, that burns down. You can only send out so many emails, and B, you're just going to burn down any. You're wasting your time. You're wasting their time. You're wasting your time.
Is there a limit on how many emails can be sent per email address, or what's a good baseline for people to know so they don't end up getting caught in spam?
Yes, and we'll go into this a little bit more specific here in a minute, but bottom line, per domain, 90 to 150 emails from 3 email accounts. And so to break it down, each individual email account can send
30 a day?
30 to 50. 50 is the definite max, right? And you got to be spinning that. You got to be using the spin tax, because if the way the world the way email is routed nowadays, you have routers out in the world that basically take data and they route it to the specific place. Now you have something that is an email gateway that stands on the other side of a router. So once the email gateway gets it and starts to see, okay, it's destined to lfg.com, I need to deliver it to JD or lfgmediagroup.com. I need to give it to JD, right? Now, how reputable is this email that I've got? Doesn't look very reputable to me, right? Or, hey, we've gotten 15, the world has seen 1,000 of these emails come through in 1 minute. So it looks like spam to me. And so, I mean, your providers out there, Microsoft, Gmail, their job is to, stay ahead of the game, right? So, and they don't want to spam. They don't do a
very good job.
Well, they don't.
I have a lot of spam. Well, actually,
it goes to spam.
It goes to spam. Actually, good point.
Yeah, because they can't prevent it from being delivered, but they can say, "Hey, this is probably not relevant to you."
Yeah.
That's their job, right? And so that's one of the pieces, right? So quantity is going to be is very. So if you're going to send out a bunch of emails, definitely think about how much you're sending out, right? Because that could tarnish your brand. That could be detrimental when you're trying to get your message across. So.
Yeah, you don't want to be some of the most annoying campaigns that I've been hit with. Actually, one of them was on LinkedIn, and I basically told it was a bot, I'm sure, but it was like I was getting a message. I got a message, and I was like, not interested. And like 2 hours later, hey, I see you're back on here. You want to talk now? And it was like 3 or 4 in a day, and I was like, basically after that, I would never ever do business with that company ever again.
Right.
Or not that I ever did, but I would never consider them because I just super annoying.
Yeah. I mean, as a business owner, it's, I can appreciate somebody doing their job and trying, it
was a bot though.
No.
Sure.
I know it's a bot. But I try to give people a little bit of grace to be like, okay, hey, I recognize the position you're in. Say it's not a bot,
Did you just say you give people grace?
I try.
I've never seen that.
Well, I'm definitely a work in progress, brother.
I mean, if you're going to lie to people, don't do it where it's being recorded.
Right. Well,
You've never given anybody grace.
I've got a brand and an image.
Actually,
right,
maybe your
that
kids.
I've got to
Actually,
uphold.
maybe your kids have.
You know.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
You know, it's so somebody's got to be the bad guy in this, you know, in this partnership.
And you do
so.
it. And you do it well.
Fair enough.
Well.
It's like,
You are freaking great at it.
It's like, man, that was aggressive.
Yeah. Did you just make them cry? Yeah. Well, they didn't do their job.
I mean, yeah.
The test determined that was a lie.
Yep. There it is.
Solid. We told Christian, we said, bring in the soundboard.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, where's that bell?
What bell?
While he's pulling it up, we're going to hit the bell to let people know, hey, if you've enjoyed this episode, you've gotten something out of it, to help us out, please like, subscribe, and share.
Mike's going to put his cell phone number there as well, so you can call him.
There we go. There we go. It wasn't
that's some mad money right there.
Yeah.
Mad money sound.
All right. Well, I'll take that. But that's a baseline. Getting back to where we're at, right? That's a baseline of quantity, right? Also the source. So you know, the source of where you're sending your emails from is going to matter a lot. And so there's different things.
What do you mean by source?
Source. So it's DNS. I hate using acronyms here.
Yeah, let's keep, because if you're going to lose me, which you will.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not going to. I'm not. I promise I'm not going to get.
So when you say source, like if it's a Gmail, or if it's through Constant Contact, which has a server that's warmed up.
That is one of the sources, right? And so,
what do we use? Instantly.
Instantly.
Instantly is what we use.
Yeah. So instantly.ai, which is one of the email providers. So Instantly doesn't actually send the emails; it connects to your mailbox.
Right.
Which then sends from that place. Now, it is important for deliverability. If you guys do not understand, like one of the things that you must do is there's 3 DNS records that you need to create. If you're not familiar with them, work with an IT provider, do a quick Google search, drop us a comment.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to share some information on it. But there's definitely some DNS things that basically, whenever you're sending
that part's
email,
technical. You want a developer.
It is technical.
You can't even explain it on the podcast.
No, well, I'm not.
Maybe you could.
No, well, it's basically authenticating. So whenever you're getting an email address, so the router that's saying it, it's like, hey, where did it come from? Oh, this guy actually has it would be like having a wax seal on it, being like, hey, it came from this place. I promise. Right. Because
okay.
Yeah. So, but that's something that you're going to need to track down, right? But you first off get your DNS in order. Figure out how much email you want to send. So if I want to send out, if I'm going to send out to, you know, our number is, we work in batches of 750, right? Because we can send up to
750 a month.
750, because we're going to send them 4 emails, right?
Yep.
And then we can send 150 emails, 50 emails off 3 email boxes per domain per day. So that times 5 is 750. Was that clear, or is that?
Yeah, no, it makes sense to me.
Okay, so 750. So if I know,
and the intervals in most of the emails that we're sending are 7 days.
Yeah, weekly.
So that's weekly. So that's why we like 750 for a number to prospect per month. Like we'll pull 750 leads from our data source of whatever industry we're trying to target, and then we know we can send those 750 leads an email once a week.
Yes, and it's also
in combination with SMS too, which is a whole other episode.
Yeah, it's a whole other episode.
We hit them from everywhere.
Right, phone calls. You know, a very good phone caller can outbound dial about 150 a day.
Yeah, we're going to talk all about.
Yeah, well, that's a different one, but basically 750 is a nice number, right? So a good target, and it prevents you from having to buy another domain. Because another thing is, like, you can't have 15 mailboxes from lfgmediagroup.com sending 50 emails a day. It's not going to work either, because your routers out there are going to say, why is there 15,000 emails coming from LFG Media Group?
Yep.
You know? So, but if you see a constant stream, now here's the thing, what I've just talked about, the numbers I've talked about, doesn't apply if you haven't warmed up the email box.
So tell us how because you just taught me this the other day, recently.
So warming up an email box is something that, you know, if you're using a high quality where a tool that is we use instantly,
right?
Yep. If you're using a tool that is born and bred to be basically outbound prospecting. For emails, they're going to offer what is called emails. So another thing that an email router is going to look at is they're going to look at it and say, hey, JD bought this domain 2 days ago, right? There's a thing it's a DNS record that basically they can look at and be like, hey, he bought it 2 days ago. All of a sudden, there's 500 emails a day coming from this place. Or, if you do the 150 emails a day, if you do the recommended, there's 150 emails a day coming from LFG Media Group with the same damn subject line. Yep. I'm pretty sure it's spam.
Sounds spammy to me.
Sounds spammy to me. So what Instantly does is they do a warm-up cycle, right? So what the warming up email is, they will basically simulate emails between clients, right? So, and they'll start off slowly. They start off at 1, go up to 2.
So what? They're sending them to the email addresses that you're trying to warm up?
No, they send it to other clients. So if, say, I have an Instantly account and you have an Instantly account, we add multiple email boxes up to that. We basically turn on warm up, and they will simulate
to other Instantly clients.
Exactly.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
They will simulate so that is quote unquote warming up the email. That is critical. You can't rush that process because.
Well, how long does it take typically to warm up an email?
So whenever we onboard new clients, right? So say hey, I want to buy your base package. We're going to prospect to 750 prospects in what's next month. It's going to be September, right? It takes us 2 weeks to get the email up to a point to where we can start sending out email.
Okay, cool.
Because you also time of day, there is something to it, right? So all this
time
is
of day, day of week,
right?
Yeah.
If you're sending out like
some people think Mondays are best days because you're just getting your week started. Some people think Fridays are better days because people are in better moods on Fridays. I'm not responding to anything on a Friday afternoon unless it's a client.
You know who does?
That's paying us.
see, this is where we can this is where we can say that what, we are giving away quality information here. That's one thing we'll keep to ourselves. Sign up with us. You will know which day is the best day.
I'll shut that's my cue to shut my face.
No. It's good because that's a value add. Because like we could
just email me on the side. I got you.
Fair. I got you. But so that's the warming up process, is to simulate like what natural email transactions look like. So that way, when other people are looking at it, it's not that whenever they do the warm up, it's not the same. They've got a list of 1,000 different emails in which they simulate through, and they don't keep using it. So
and I remember when the first time I saw the warm up process, I started seeing all these weird emails coming in.
Right.
I'm like, who the hell? What is this? Like,
right.
Like
yeah.
like following up on our conversation. Like I don't know you, Brad.
Yeah.
Like what? What is this?
Like
who's Brad Simpson?
Right. Right. But which by the way probably don't want to do on your own email account.
No,
so
you definitely use a like an Instantly or something like that.
Yeah,
don't try to do it yourself. There's plenty of really good softwares out there that are fairly inexpensive. I think Instantly's like $100 a month or something.
Instantly's $100 a month, and we're not getting a rip from it. This is like we would love a partnership. Instantly, if you're listening to this, feel free to reach out. We'll plug you some more.
Maybe we should start sending them email campaigns.
You know what? We'll drop them down. They should sponsor this damn episode.
Let's prospect instantly. Let's see if we can prospect instantly. That would be pretty sick.
Challenge accepted.
Prospecting an email company by using their...
Challenge accepted.
All right. You're going to go nerd out this weekend now?
You know what? Give me a chance. As long as you write me some good copy.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo!
Yeah.
let me talk at you.
Right. So, but I mean, $100 a month plus is what instantly can, and they have annual plans where you can even bring it down even more, and then whatever the cost of the mailbox is,
what do mailboxes typically cost?
About $5
a month.
Yeah.
Wow, that's when you say mailbox, you mean just like JD at LFG Media Group would be a mailbox.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, and
that's
look,
cheap.
it's not much.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about email marketing is it's not that expensive.
The cost. It's more of an effort in doing it right.
It's a tremendous amount of effort.
Yeah.
That's where the cost is in labor.
Yeah, and you build the process, and like once you understand it, and it really isn't rocket science, but there is something to it. You know, there's something that like it,
That's the
and it
reason that there's
changes.
so many emails flying around every day. Because it works.
It works. If it didn't work, they wouldn't. You know,
If you stop seeing your spam bin filled up with emails, then you know email's not working anymore.
Yeah, that you get a lot of it because like, what's the cost of it? Nothing. Basically nothing, right?
Yep. It's like if you run a PPC campaign. You know, I've done both. Like run tens of thousands of dollars in PPC campaigns compared to, you know, this outbound prospecting. I'll choose outbound prospecting over PPC for if I could only pick one, and that's been a change in the
That
past.
is, I mean, I'm telling you,
That's a
I thought there was never going to be a day where I ever heard this man, because this guy, in fairness, that's awesome in a way that like, because I have no, like at the end of the day, I have no dog in the fight. I want it to be productive, but from somebody who's generated millions of dollars of revenue off of paid search to now breaking into a prospecting life cycle and being like, man, this is cool.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's super cool. It's a lot of fun.
Right.
You're not reliant on Google.
Right.
And I mean, let's be honest, Google's a monopoly, and they are a major pain in the ass sometimes.
Right.
And I see it in a lot of industries where they have the control. Like if you don't pay Google, you don't get clients.
Right.
And that sucks. And this is kind of the great thing about outbound prospecting, you know, especially starting with email, is you're basically building your own destiny. You're building you're putting together the building blocks of your marketing campaign, and you're really not reliant on search engines.
Right.
Search engines are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like knocking search engine
No,
marketing. I love it.
I think they're all work,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's like now
like,
that you're looking at, if I had
If you're
to
a
pick
new
one,
business,
yeah, oh yeah,
and you're looking at, man, should I be spending 50 grand a month on PPC when I could potentially spend 10 grand on prospecting and have all the channels, 10,
Right.
12 grand?
yeah, because email is like when we say, like I said, 5 different channels. So email is just a small portion of
Yep.
it. So,
Yes.
it's an effective one. Speaking
right.
of which, right? Because I want to get into good copy here in just a second. But before we do that, let's talk about. So say those are the big things that you want to do to ensure deliverability. It's like where you're sending from, the domain, the number of mailboxes, the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's getting to the mailbox. Your subject line is opening it up, right?
Yep.
And so what's a good open rate?
I have no idea. That's your.
Yeah, no, it was a rhetorical. So
I'm just playing along here.
yeah,
We're doing a podcast. I don't know if you.
So
you knew
a
that.
great one is 70%. That's astronomical.
My friend's a little slow.
Well, no, fair enough. A good one, you're shooting for 60% open rate. Now here's the catch. Here's the catch. So what part of the technical part of it is before we're even
60% open rate. That sounds pretty freaking good, actually.
amazing.
Well, okay, so yeah, because if it goes in their inbox, there's a good chance that it's going to open.
Not necessarily.
I open almost every email.
I don't open.
That doesn't mean I read every
No,
email.
you do. But
So if it's in the spam, it's getting deleted, and I'm not looking at it.
so, some people like you organize your mailbox. I could give a shit about my mailbox.
Oh, your mailbox. If I saw it, it'd probably give me a heart attack.
I wouldn't care. See, that's
You're
the thing.
probably- I bet you-
spend
I bet you
time
your
caring
phone-
about something that doesn't matter.
Your phone probably has 1 million red dot notifications on it.
Yeah, I don't.
Let me see.
I don't
Let me see.
care.
Let me see your phone. Jesus Christ.
708.
708 emails?
Yeah.
That's just emails. I saw 1 million other it looked like
My notifications.
a
245 on the text. Yeah, I don't read that shit.
Jesus, dude.
I don't I don't waste my time doing something that why do I
get
care
like
to
I
click?
have like a notification from like Credit Karma, and it's like I have to open it just to like get that red dot off.
It's like a tick.
I hate that I'm this way.
No,
I wish there should be actually Apple. I can't believe they haven't come up with this where you could just clear all notifications. Not notifications, clear all of your push notifications.
Right.
I know I'm going down a rabbit hole right now.
But I mean,
But case in point.
the reality is there's some people that are going to open up every email and they may or may not be interested in it. But there's others like me who it will sit in my mailbox. So
Clearly.
60%, your average, if you're doing, here's what if you're doing unsculpted, like say you do no prep work, you send 1,000 emails out a day from one mailbox, you're looking at somewhere in the 10 to 20% open rate.
But you couldn't do that, I thought.
You can. It just won't get delivered.
Oh, so like you're saying a bunch of those would end up
Yeah,
in
yeah,
spam.
yeah, yeah. No, there's no limitation from you doing it. I mean, you could do it from a Gmail account, but I mean, there's nothing, some email providers will throttle the amount of information that you send out. But technically speaking, I mean, you could, cascade it over the course of the day, but it doesn't mean it's going, like, what's the purpose in doing all that effort for it to not be delivered?
Agreed.
And another thing is, whenever you're doing stuff like that, do not do that from your domain, because it's going to kill your domain reputation.
Wait, aren't we doing it for my domain, for my stuff?
Yes, but I mean, don't
do the 1,000
Yeah,
a day.
don't do the
Yeah, yeah.
Don't destroy your email.
Right.
So that's one of the things. The other things that you can do is all this linking and all this like pretty crap in it. Like, don't do all that.
Right.
Nobody cares about your pictures, respectfully. Nobody cares about no, don't do that. Don't, so
When would be a good time to, okay, so let's talk about deliverability. 'Cause
right.
There's a point to this next question. You're saying keep it bare. Keep
Bare.
it text. Don't
I
have a bunch of pictures. Don't have a bunch of links in there.
I prefer not even tracking open rate, because what we end up doing is so whenever.
Wait, you don't what?
So here's whenever you sign up with us, right? We're going to track your open rate for the first couple months, because there's code that basically says whenever it is opened up, it will send a message to us that says it was open. Once we see it 70% for X amount of time and we get a good data set, we can also, there's another KPI, it's called, basically response or reply rate, right? So once we can measure that reply rate of, we get a reply rate, then we can look at it, we can turn off link tracking. If your reply rate goes up, you know what happened? Your open rate went up. You aren't tracking it, but you know it went up because your reply rate's never going to be higher than your open rate.
Right.
So anytime
think
you're
about that.
tracking linking in your email, or you're doing any sort of URL, because if you're tracking linking, what ends up happening is I can't send the message in plain text. Plain text is the best way, and that's just rich text
'Cause
is
it's the safest. It's the safest. Basically.
yeah, but basically it doesn't look spammy, right?
Even your URL for your website isn't. You don't hypertext it.
No,
Yeah.
no, we don't do it. Not until if someone
And hypertext, if you don't know what that means, it's where like with you make it blue, where someone could click on it and just go directly to your website. Like we don't have any clickable links.
Yeah, no clickable.
Hypertext.
No rich text, no HTML, no nothing. And HTML is just basically how you bold it, how you italicize it, how you can drop a link or a picture or anything. Nothing like that in there.
So don't even put like a booking link in the email. Don't even test that.
So we have tested that. Yeah. So it drops the deliverability, but here's where
But then your conversions go up.
So there's a fine line.
Yeah, exactly.
But it really drops your deliverability by 20% on the open rate.
Oh wow.
So that's whenever
That's 150 a week that aren't even getting to
exactly
out of the 750 you're prospecting.
Right, which is a problem.
And you could miss that one banging customer.
Right. So let's go. That kind of leads into the content, right? So we talked about the subject line and how we talked about the method in which it hits your mailbox. But let's talk about whenever they read the email content, right? So what's good content to you?
There's this guy, Sabri Subri. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, no.
King Kong marketing, Australian guy.
King Kong.
I think it's Kong or something. Anyway.
You butchered this poor guy's name.
No, I didn't butcher his name.
No, Sabri Subri, King Kong, Godzilla,
he obviously did a really good. Wait, what was that? He obviously did a really good job. As you made an impression on me. I mean, his. Anyway, so I got into his freaking funnel because I clicked on one of his ads.
Okay.
And his email campaigns were just like they're not talking like it's kind of like how you like to talk to people. Like it wasn't super professional. And it was like there would be like swears. No offense, I didn't like that. But Mike likes messages like, "Hey, your marketing campaigns suck. We got you."
Yeah. Well, I like people to be like, "Who the f is this guy?
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Who's this
the
guy?
Gall."
Because let's be honest. If you're talking to decision makers and companies, like we're all human beings for them. Like we're not.
Right. Especially the owners.
Yeah.
The owners are the best ones.
Yeah, because
like,
they're loose.
Yeah, because they don't care. It does suck. You
Yeah.
know, because like they might look at it and be like, you know what? He's right.
Like
it does suck.
like nobody's super proper all the time, unless maybe you're talking to like Warren Buffett's and like big huge hedge fund guys, or Steve Jobs is, you know, like
yeah,
maybe that's a different story. But for the most part, we're normal people. Like,
right.
We're going to respond to messages that, or I'm going to respond to messages that are humanized.
Right.
Like,
and that's I want
show
it to
me
be
your
humanized.
nature. Yeah, show me your human nature. Like, show me you're just like a regular person that's actually really good at this thing.
Right.
That's the type of person that I want to work with. Not some watered down peacocking message that's like, oh, we're the best at this and we can 3x your ROI. Shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah,
like,
nobody,
just shut up, dude.
Nobody cares
Excuse
about
my
all
language.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we might have to bleep.
like, hey, man, you guys, I see you're in this industry. You know, if things suck or things aren't going well for what you're doing, like we actually specialize in this industry, and we have these couple of things that could help you.
Right.
If you want to talk, let's talk.
Right.
Like that, I'm going to respond to that 10 times if I'm in the market for that product.
Yeah, and it's one thing to say it sucks, but like if you tell me, don't bring me a problem with no solution, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be like, your messaging sucks. End. You know, but it's like
or the stupid, ridiculous, over the top promises.
Right.
Like, so
you know,
just
10x my ROI. Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Bro.
I just want to reply sometimes. You know, explain ROI to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pop quiz, hot shot.
Yeah. How many times I have,
That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna call somebody from one of those emails. Be like, explain ROI. Go.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Be like, hey, your messaging is so bad. I want you to know that I have 708 unread emails that have the word ROI in them.
I get emails for chiropractors.
Okay.
Never once. They're like, hey, are you trying to grow your practice? Like, how did I get in that funnel?
You know what they did? Bad data.
Yeah, really. I mean, not even close though.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they like were reaching out for like business services, like they think I'm an accountant. But like chiropractor, it's like, anyway.
So going back to the content, right?
Yeah.
So
writing compelling messaging and keeping it short.
Yeah.
Nobody reads long emails. Like, another thing is spaces.
Right.
So this is just my opinion. Actually, there's data to back it up. And this is how I even write, just when I'm actually writing emails to people. I won't have more than 2 or 3 sentences in a paragraph before I space.
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I thought I was like, okay, so it's
no. If I see a block of text in an email,
too
think
long.
about it, because most
TLDR.
like it might look cool on your
That's too long. Didn't read. I know we don't do acronyms on the show, but TLDR.
Like if I see, like, think about it, if you type that email out on a computer and it's blocked like that, think about what it's going to look like on somebody's cell phone. It's going to look like this huge blob. I'm okay. You know what I do when I see big emails like that? I'll get back to it later when I have more time.
Or it goes to the delete
And
box.
I'm
surprised you even. I mean, what a swell guy. This guy will spend like obnoxious amount of time of his life. He's going to be on his deathbed and be like,
ding,
and he's going to look back on it and be like, do you know you spent 732 days of your entire life organizing your email? And he's going to be like,
is that all? I could have done more. I could have done better.
Yeah, but it was so organized. No, but the text should be definitely under 100 words in the entire thing.
Under 100 words, that's a good 100 words, 3 to 4 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Quick offer in there, and then ask for, I'm almost kind of getting burnt out on the. Got time for a quick 10 to 15 minute chat?
Yeah.
I see that so much now, and I think we should test different stuff too. But
I think we should, and we will. It's like,
hey, what's it gonna? I don't know what a good like off the top of my head, but like,
I'll tell you what, ours is, but it kind of all like leans into, hey, for business to business. Most times it's, hey, this is my hook here's the offer. I need 10 minutes of your time to like see if you fit it, and I don't know if this is going to be a waste of your time, but I've seen it work for other clients of mine. So
see, I like that. That's real.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you that like, hey, you need this, but we are currently offering a cybersecurity assessment, a free cybersecurity assessment. I hate to use the word free, but I mean, it's a complimentary, there's another thing for deliver. Don't use free. in your
Don't use
subject, not in your subject.
Oh, subject.
Yeah. Stay away from like free dollar signs or any sort of thing in the subject line.
Scream sales messaging.
Right. We want them to open the message. In that message, it should be one reason, basically a quick thing as to why I'm targeting you or why I'm reaching out to you, the offer, the $100 million offer. And then we were doing, and this is something that like we've A/B tested, and we've recently found that we were going, hey, reply yes if you're interested. And that's when we send the link.
Yeah.
So when you reply, like we definitely want, because ideally, I love having links there, but first and foremost, I need to get to your mailbox.
Yeah.
If you reply to my email, then I'll send you a direct link. And if you don't click on the link and book a message, you can be damn sure I'm going to be following up and being like, bro, why did you ask me for something you not follow through?
Yeah, I like the behavioral health campaign.
Right.
Did you see the last email, the subject lines I put in there as just like a swing for the fences?
Yeah.
One of them was so a horse walks into rehab.
I love that. I love that one.
Yeah.
I saw that one. I was like, that is great.
And then the other one was not urgent at all.
That's an idea of a fantastic subject.
I just figured like
it's a Hail Mary at that point. It's almost like.
And to be clear, like this was email 5 of the drip campaign, so they hadn't responded to the first 4. So I figured just.
You know what? It's me.
I'd be interested to see if anybody actually replies to that.
I honestly, that's one of my favorites because
really?
that one stood out to me, and I was like, man, this is why this
that
guy's
was not
that
was
content.
not ChatGPT, by the way. That was because I thought of so a horse walks into a bar.
Yeah.
Well, this is a rehab.
Right.
So
I don't know. ChatGPT's going to come up with that.
No, ChatGPT is good for some, but like when you try to like, well, actually, I bet you put good prompts and you could get. Yeah. But that comes with just knowing your audience. Like I know, but like most of the CEOs and stuff we're marketing to in the behavioral health space, like they're just like chill dudes.
Right.
For the most part, and like to laugh. Anyway.
So we went from reply yes to.
Oh yeah.
What did we swap to? I'll let you talk about it since you crafted it.
Well, that's because I replied to this one email. Like it's so instead of saying reply yes to get more information, you could say like, choose the number below that best fits you. Number 1, yes, send me information. Number 2, not interested. Number 3, maybe in 30 days or something. I think it was something like that.
Right.
Right. Is that the messaging I did?
Yeah. Not right now.
Yeah. Not right now. Like,
maybe later.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
Cause one's a hard no and another one's like, hey, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see how these people do.
Yeah. And the simpler, the better.
Cause for me, I was like, someone sent me that and I just replied 1 for unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Which is good because you want to know if someone's not interested. You want to stop marketing to them.
Well, you want to save your time, right?
Exactly. And your money.
Yeah.
Not that it's that expensive.
No, it is. Time is money, because like because if not them, you're taking away from your bucket that you can talk to somebody else. Because let me tell you, there's plenty of places out there to do business with.
Now, so if people go in the unsubscribe bucket, do you ever market to them ever again?
Not email.
No?
Not email.
Interesting. So you try to hit them from another channel?
I mean,
it's not a trick question.
No, not in that case. So no, it's not a trick. So like if
someone tells me I'm not interested, that just to me, I'm going to come back 90 days later and message you again.
Well, that's what so when you hit unsubscribe, I'm not saying like.
Well, you can't market to them again legally.
Yeah. No. When they click unsubscribe, I'm never going to email them again. Now, am I going to talk to them in another channel? Sure. Am I going to close them out for this month's channel? Yes. Now, what we'll end up doing is we will come back in 6 months or 90 days or whatever the amount of time is, because we've identified this as an ICP, right? So this is an ideal client profile. There's somebody who would greatly benefit from the services that we offer. Now, if they tell me that like, hey, email's not their thing, they obsessively look at it and organize their email box and they don't want emails, that's fine. There's plenty of other methods, and email isn't the only channel. So will I ever market to them again? Yeah, I will. Yeah. Am I closing them out for this channel? Yeah, we're closing them out for this go around. But that goes back into, we really work and as an overall strategy, right? whenever you buy from us, it's $750 is our core offer. So you're going to get that. Now, $750, we're going to touch them a minimum of 16 times over the course of a month, right? So 4 times of every channel that we offer, at least, if they unsubscribe, but it's plus or minus then. Now, the average time people get to before they tell you definitively yes or no, there's a number in that. If you're interested in that number, come and sign up and do some work with us, and we'll show you what the number is, right? Because there is eventually, how many times does somebody have to interact with something before they learn it?
That's a great question.
It's something
More than once.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people have to interact with something before they really learn and really get it. Around 7, I think that.
Well, and it's cold
like 7
outreach
times.
too. So it's like, hey, I don't know you. To, oh no, you exist.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, so you exist, and these are the things you offer. Okay, and then the next message, like, okay, you exist.
This guy
this
really
is what
wants
you
to
offer,
talk to me.
and you obviously have your shit together because you've reached out to me in multiple places, and then the next thing you know is you're top of mind when whoever their provider is for whatever they're using takes a crap, and it's like, oh, you know what? Let's talk to these, amazing tech people.
Right.
Maybe they're better than the providers we're using right now for IT stuff.
There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that, brother. So, South Florida's finest.
At least there's no ego there.
No, it's
Very humble guy Mike is.
confident.
Yeah. Yep. Delusional.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Driven, compassion. No, not compassion. Passionate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God forbid you have compassion.
No.
Yeah. So as far as email, I mean, that pretty much, I think, sums it up for the most part.
Well, one last thing, signature. What are we doing
What
with
do you mean signature?
Like what?
Like an email signature?
Yeah, a lot of people get, and this kind of, I want to bring it up because a lot of times people get, again, simple is better.
Mm-hmm.
No link.
So name,
No link.
your website, but remember, not hyperlinked, and then a phone number.
Right. Instantly will allow you to send it as, there's an option that says send it as plain text. Recommend that. Right. You know what is a good way to do?
Send what as plain text? The
Send the
URL?
the email itself. 'Cause the whole email is formatted kind of like a document. So if you sign it, it would be the same as if you sent think of a Word document. Say I send you a Word document, but if I send it as a text file, right, the .txt, that's like a blank notepad. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know how you would do that.
That's
speaking Chinese to me.
But that's what instantly does. It's just literally
I got a phone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fair, right? So, I talk whenever I like having JD out the show because I try to, whenever I get technical, I look him as a
this is where I go. I'm like, geez.
I was like, bro, every meeting we do, you do this thing.
Because this is my tell
Where
that you have talked your way out of anything that I completely comprehend, and I'm completely lost. And
He's
now
rubbing
I'm
his eyes
frustrated.
for our audio listeners. He's literally, his head's on he's leaning on his hand, right? And he's rubbing his eyes. And that's every single meeting. I was like, this is like a tell at this point in time.
Well, good thing I'm not a customer.
Well, I know, but that's why I have you on. So whenever I start getting technical, I view you as a slightly below user, average user.
Jesus. That's when Mike starts getting the slacks from me. I'm like, wrap it up.
Right.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Too much.
He's like, tell us a little bit about yourself. All right. Well, since you asked.
2.5 hours later,
Right.
Mike's like, and that's that was 7th grade.
Yeah. And that's when.
Tough year.
And that's when I finished writing War and Peace.
Yeah.
So that's emails in a nutshell. If you guys have any more questions, you've enjoyed some of the facts, please give us a comment. Let us know. Drop something down below. And if you have any questions, shoot us over.
Yeah, hit us up. We're happy to help answer any questions. We're not going to set it all up for free for you, but we're happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're regular guys, so we'll have a conversation for you. So
Christian's yawning. It's time to go.
Yeah, right. With that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing week ahead. And thanks again for listening to another episode of the Top Pod.
Oh, yeah.
Have a great one.
All right, see you. Bye.
Peace.